listening to the Stand Angler, and my daddy's the host.
All right, well, special thanks to my sweetheart for the introduction, and welcome to the Sustainable Angler Podcast. I'm Rick Crawford, angler, sustainability consultant, and founder of Emerger Strategies. This season, we're launching the Sustainability Blueprint, a deep dive into how fishing and outdoor brands can grow, meet retailer demands, navigate emerging regulations, and protect the places we all love. If you're part of the fishing and outdoor industry, this is your roadmap to surviving and thriving in a changing world. Let's build better brands and protect what we love together. Today on the Sustainable Angler, I'm joined by Alec Griz Griswold. Griz is the co-founder of Soul Fly Co. and Soul Fly Lodge. Griz, along with Kitry and Kyle Schaefer, is doing something seriously cool, blending live music, art, and fly fishing into community events that actually give back. We dig into how Soul Fly Lodge has been leveling up its sustainability game, and we pull back the curtain on Soul Fly Charleston, a fly fishing, music, and art experience happening May 16th at the refinery, with proceeds going directly to Charleston Waterkeeper. We also talk about the sustainable event plan our team at Emerger Strategies built for them, covering everything from zero waste goals to community impact. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this one. And before we dive into the interview, I just want to say thank you. I'm truly grateful that you take the time to listen to this podcast. I hope these conversations inspire you to take action for nature. If you're enjoying the show, a quick free way to support it is by leaving a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. The Sustainable Angler is available anywhere you listen to podcasts and is also airing Saturdays at 2 p.m. on Charleston's first and only community-supported radio station, OM Radio, 96.3 FM. This episode of The Sustainable Angler is brought to you by Emerger Strategies, Ecolytics, and a New Earth Project, the sustainability initiative of Atlantic Packaging. Hey everybody, Rick Crawford here. If you're running a fishing or outdoor brand, you probably got into this business for the freedom, a desire to work in an industry that you actually care about, and to protect what you love, not wrestle with sustainability scorecards and compliance regulations. But here's the truth. Retailers and regulators are paying close attention, and the brands that can answer clearly are the ones that keep their products on the shelf. That's where Emerger Strategies comes in. We help brands get retailer and regulator ready, and we help you make the business case for sustainability, so compliance strengthens your brand instead of slowing it down. That's why I built the Compliance Ready Brand Blueprint. It's a clear, practical roadmap that shows you what matters, what's coming, and gets your sustainability house in order in 30 days. If you want to protect your brand, your margins, and what you love, you'll find the blueprint at emergerstrategies.com. If you're running a fishing, outdoor, food, or apparel brand, sustainability isn't just marketing. It's directly tied to the landscapes, waterways, and communities your business depends on. But actually tracking and improving your impact can get complicated fast. Ecolytics is a software platform that helps values-driven companies measure and manage their environmental and social impact all in one place. Ecolytics helps replace scattered spreadsheets with a clear system for tracking things like emissions, sourcing practices, and social impact, so you know where you stand and what to improve next. They specialize in helping companies pursue B Corp certification, one of the most rigorous and respected standards for business sustainability. What I appreciate is that Ecolytics works hand in hand with sustainability consultants, including folks like me. That means companies get expert guidance and a platform that keeps the work organized, credible, and audit ready. Whether you're exploring B Corp certification or just getting started with sustainability as a business, Ecolytics turns your good intentions into measurable action. To learn more, visit ecolytics.io. That's ecolytics.io. lytics.io, and mention the Sustainable Angler podcast to get a discount on your first year subscription. Thanks to Ecolytics for supporting the show and for supporting businesses that protect the places we love.
Rick, it is a pleasure. That made me think, do you have a nickname, by the way?
A lot of people would say that I'm kind of the love child of Chris Farley, Yvon Chouinard, and Jimmy Buffett.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's a specific nickname for that, but
I think that's Crevon Buffet. Crevon Buffet is your new name.
Here it is. Here it is.
Well, that's a good love child. Well, yeah, no, it's thanks for having me on, Rick. I'm excited to have this conversation and yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So, Alec or Griz, I'll say, we have known each other for a few years, back when we were doing some work together, with your nonprofit, right? And that's how we first connected. But I'm curious to know, like, what is the origin story of Soul Fly, and then maybe we'll weave into us working together and all that fun stuff. But
yeah, I'll try to keep it brief.
Yeah.
I would say it starts with a skiff in a Hog Island skiff in Maine, in Kitry, Maine. A friend of mine who had just moved up there. We were like, look, he had just kind of gotten a boat. He didn't know the waters. It's a tricky area up there. So we were like, well, let's go. We should hire a guide and see where he goes, and then we'll steal all of his spots, which is the last thing you should ever do, ever. But I think Instagram had just started or something. We were looking around. We saw this kind of younger guy. We were like, this guy looks cool. We hired him for the day. Stepped on his skiff, and that happened to be Kyle Schaefer. And he ran a company there called Soul Fly Outfitters. And it just so happened we were actually his first clients ever in Maine.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he was really good at faking it till making it, because we were like, God, this guy looks like he's dialed. Turns out he was dialed, just hadn't had any clients on his boat yet. But yeah, that day we just had a blast, found some mutual connections, and over the course of a couple years, all three of us, Justin Gonzalez was the other gentleman, but we just became really good friends, Kyle and I. And Kyle moved on to into the hospitality world, in the lodge world, and worked for a company there. And I visited him a couple times when he was managing a lodge down in the Bahamas. And one of those classic stories, sitting around a fire, and just saying, man, we could do this. This is, it doesn't seem that hard. And the next morning you wake up and you're like, well, I don't know, whatever we were talking about. But we did take it seriously, and I think that was the start of our sort of professional endeavor with Soul Fly Lodge. We weren't like actively searching. We weren't like, this is going to be our thing. We were like, let's see if something comes to us. Let's put it out there a little bit, and be patient, because I think if you are going to do a fishing lodge somewhere, and you don't have a whole lot of money, you gotta figure it out, and you got to make sure it's the right fit. So fast forward, I don't even know how time works anymore, but a couple years, and we got this intel on this place in the Berry Islands in the Bahamas. And I said, guys, I got to be honest, I don't know where the Berry Islands are. And I think we all actually maybe had the same thought, but we were like, well, that's a good start, actually, because that means it's unknown. So we were lucky enough to go through a very easy process of purchasing a property, and it already had a boutique hotel there with a little restaurant, so that was massive. We didn't need to build from ground up, but I would say, just if you're looking to get in the lodge business, and don't buy really an existing lodge, I really good luck. It's definitely one of the hardest things I've been a part of. But on the flip side, where we are now, it's probably one of the most rewarding and satisfying things that I've done as well. So, and Kyle's take would be probably like, well, the ice maker's broken again. Call me later. I've got to go deal with a million things. I was the guy that was here in Boston working my other job. Like, yeah, man, you got it. You're doing great. So, fast forward again, we've done 5 seasons. And, I think
been 5 seasons.
I know. When we went into our 4th season, I was like, wait a minute, let's do the math here. I think we're in season 3, right? Or because it just, like anything, everything flies by. And, I think I always equate it to a rocket ship. And in the beginning, you're just hanging on. You're just like, all right, like put the panel back on. We're going. And now we're at a point where we're actually like driving the ship and being able to change course and do some really cool stuff. And boy, it's a lot of fun now. And it still has a lot of challenges, but yeah. And now we're diving into the event world. The other day somebody called me a festival promoter, and I was like, that is not. No. But yeah, we could dive more into that. But I guess that's the origin story, the short one, actually, even though it was probably like 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, and Kyle's great. Have done some work with Kyle as well over the years, and it's been cool watching y'all build the lodge from afar. So, just out of curiosity for folks listening, what are the species that y'all are primarily targeting at the lodge if they're looking for their next tropical fishing trip?
Yeah, for sure. Well, the Bahamas kind of known and built around bonefish. And boy, those are amazing fish. We are definitely a quality versus a quantity fishery. Not meaning that we don't have fish, but more so, it's maybe a bit more, it can be challenging for sure, depending on your tides and your weather, but the bonefish that you do catch are a larger size average than a lot of places in the Bahamas. So, I think that is exciting because, if you're in the numbers game and want to go catch, 20 bonefish, that's fantastic. Maybe don't come to Soul Fly, I guess, which I don't think I've ever said that before. But but if you want to really challenge yourself, if you want to challenge yourself, even if you're not, a proficient or you consider yourself like an expert angler, that's what we pride ourselves on. So we've got bonefish, we've got mutton snapper on the flats, which are just, I'll save the last one for last, but they are my second favorite, just because they are bulldogs. They are smart. They're really, really cunning creatures. And we've got barracuda and triggerfish, both kind of underrated game fish. If I could spend, a week hunting barracuda and trying to get one of the big ones, it's pretty cool. So, although the Bahamas is known for bonefish, there's these 3 other species, mutton snapper, trigger, and cuda. Like, go tell your guy to go chase those because they are awesome. And then the last one is I hate to say its name, but it's a permit. And that's
a dishonest fish.
Just a real jerk from a different planet. But boy, they are something I just will chase for the rest of my life. They are fascinating and we'll never understand them. And they clearly don't give a crap about us. So those are the big ones. We do have other jacks and things that you can do in some of the reef areas or a little bit more kind of blue water off the flats. But those are the species that we target.
Well, that's super cool. And I know from having worked with you and Kyle a little bit over the years, conservation, sustainability is really kind of like part of y'all's ethos and kind of embedded in everything that y'all do. Can you maybe talk to some of the conservation or sustainability initiatives that y'all have going on at the lodge as well?
For sure, yeah. And Rick, you've been very helpful in several of those. So Kyle and I, and by the way, Kitry, who is Kyle's wife, is our third partner. And, we don't do anything. Kyle and I don't do anything. Kitry does all the hard work, all the back end work. So I want to shout out Kitry. She is the glue. And Micah, their young son, he's not so good at the back end work, but he's getting there. But we lead with a simple premise, and it's community first and protect the resource, right? Yeah. And honestly, every major decision we make is filtered through those two things. What if we do this? How's it going to impact that or this, right? Community or resource? And I don't know. It's tough to say from my angle because we're doing it. I don't want to sound like we're the best, but we're no BS on it. It honestly is the direction of our brand. It is our ethos, not only in professional life but personal life. So some of the things that we really focus on, and maybe we can get into this here in a second, but if you're a startup business, you're just trying to get by, right? And I think sometimes if you really want to be what you say you are, you have to say, like, look, we can't do everything right now. We don't have the funds to do this or that or get to that level. So you've got to be okay and probably transparent, I would say, on what you're doing and what you and also what you can't do, right? So, when we started out, and I think, Rick, we reached out to you year one and trying to get sort of on the road to carbon neutral and having that footprint of zero, and it's so helpful to kind of see that full map. Okay, well, here's where we want to get. Oh boy, wow, we got to do a lot of things till we get there, and it's not just a couple different things. So a couple of the projects that I can mention. I mean, on sustainability side, on sort of breaking a little bit of the mold, we've got solar panels up on the lodge now. Transparently, we don't have enough money to buy a battery to support the whole lodge. So right now, all of our daytime energy is being sourced from those solar panels. And I think once, we can definitely afford a battery now, but it's also like the batteries keep getting better and better every 6 months, right? So it's like, all right, well, let's just make sure we get the right one because they are still expensive. But we do a lot of other things at the lodge, no single-use plastic. People are always like, can I get a takeaway cup? We did get a takeaway compostable cup, but all Yeti products, all reusable. Everybody's got their own when they're at the lodge. We do a lot around the community. So it's my favorite. It's essentially one of my jobs and passions at the lodge right now is the community work, and I'm heading down there in a couple days to oversee Math Awareness Month at the local school. So we provide T-shirts, and then they do this whole day where it's sort of career building, and it's man, I'm so excited for the day because I get to be a kid and then and be at the school, and it's just it's a really fun thing. And we also have sort of a community fund that we do. So obviously on an out island in the Bahamas, when you have a medical issue or where there's a fire or something, and you have left with nothing or you have no options, we hope to be, and we're planning, and we are, trying to be that helpful helpline to get some of these folks who are in dire need some attention or whatever. And I got to say, a lot of our guests have been so generous to donate to that fund, and it has helped families and individuals on the island to an immense capacity. And I think the last thing is, working with conservation orgs, BTT, like the lovely hat you're wearing today, providing resources for them, having scientists trying to get involved. Right now, there's the Southern Berry Island Management Plan. So we're in the Berry Islands at the north. Obviously, the south is below us. Kyle just reached out to offer, hey, we've got boats, we've got housing. Let us know what we can do to help, make sure that you can do the best management plan you can. So I'll shut up, but cool. Yeah, I could go on. This could go on forever.
Yeah, no. Well, I think it's just helpful because, what I try and do with this podcast is shine a light on people and companies doing good things. And so it's important if you're a lodge owner and you're listening to this, or even if you're a brand and you're listening to this, to Griz's point, sustainability is it's not about perfection, and it's a never ending continuous improvement story, right? And so the way that I look at it is it's similar to a person trying to become the best version of themselves. And you provided examples of that, right? So not not to get too deep here, but it's treat other people the way you want to be treated. And so that's the community aspect of it, and protect the environment. And that's the environmental sustainability side of it. And those are good things, right? That makes the world a better place. And so I think that it's also really important, to your point, where it's like, you don't have to try and get everything figured out in day one, right? Like, it's a journey. You do what you can with what you have, and you take the steps to just get better year over year. And that's all you can do, right? And so
Yeah.
I think that I commend y'all for what you are doing, and for everyone out there. Yeah, you do the best you can with your budget and your resources and what you have. So, but one of the things that you mentioned, which is the primary reason we want to talk today, right, is y'all have started to roll out events, and that's centered around community and conservation and sustainability. So let's talk a little bit. I know we've got an event coming up in Charleston, Soul Fly Charleston, May 16th.
You got it.
Why don't you give us the overview of Soul Fly Charleston, and then we'll get into some of the specifics.
Yeah. And I might just take it a step back a little bit too, just to
Sure.
give some context to it. So Kyle, Kitry, and I were chatting, gosh, maybe 2 years ago, or a year and a half, of like, all right, well, are we doing another lodge? Like, how do we keep building? How do we, get the brand out there a little more, all that good stuff. And we're certainly open to another lodge, but again, we wanted to sort of come to us in a way, or not go out and search for it, just put out the right vibe and see what comes. And but what we did talk about is like we have such an amazing, and just in fly fishing, I think angling as well, but I think a lot in fly fishing is you have these amazing people, and whatever, from Joe Dirt, let's take it, Joe Dirt, who runs a giant company,
Yeah.
and then Chad Smith, who is a guide, or just an angler and bowsman, and they're the same people, right?
Yeah.
Joe is massively rich. Chad has nothing, right? Or he has not as many means as far as monetary wise, but they share the same passion. And that's what I love about the lodge, is like, you get people there that are they would have no business interacting in normal life. And then they become, friends, and it's just that common ground. So what we kept thinking about is like, I think in our sport, we have some great events, right? But we also have a lot of events where we're just kind of stuck in a convention center, and it's, those are important for sure. And I'm not like totally like downing them, but I think there's opportunity to have more organic, something that is actually really community building focused, and not so much focused around like consumerism and product and that sort of stuff. So, what we really landed on was like, well, we don't have to recreate the wheel. You just had really good music. You had good local food and drink. You had a lot of art, and you have a conservation focus to it. So that led us into where we are now with Soul Fly Co., which is our kind of overarching brand, with the lodge and the events. I guess going into the event in Charleston, we've had a couple other events up here in New England, in Portland, but this one is kind of our big first one, and it's exciting because for me, that's my now day-to-day job. Is some people say a festival promoter, which again, if you do call me that, I will not talk to you, but it's something different, so nobody really knows what this is. And we love doing, I wouldn't call it counterculture, but it's like almost there, where it's just different. People are like, I don't get it. Whatever. Okay, we'll see what happens after year one. And I'm like, I understand. Like, I wouldn't trust me. No, I'm kidding. But, we want to do something different. And I think that's the whole point of life, is adapting to the needs of folks and the needs of what you feel is there. So with adding that really good music, I mean, we have well, I'll get into it here maybe in a second, but you know, the events are weekend events in different places. So we've got Charleston, South Carolina, which is just an amazing community. I don't know if you know anything about it, Rick, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I know a thing or two.
all right.
Yeah,
And
but
then
you are right. Like we have a really strong fly fishing community. And so it's become a little bit of a destination for people who want to fish a flood tide and catch a redfish. And in fact, I have heard of people who are coming from out west to go to like Soul Fly Lodge. They'll stop in Charleston and bookend a trip on either side to try and go red fishing. So it's a cool. It's becoming a little bit of a hub, which is cool.
yeah, and it really like what I keep saying, because I've been back and forth from Boston down there the past, 8 months, and every time I go there, I'm like, God, everybody is so cool, so nice, so like just inviting, and you can already tell the community is there, and they are. There's a real thing down there, and I think it's the Southern mentality. Even if you move there, I think you get it kind of like soaked into you. Um, that it's a special place, and I promise I won't move there because I don't think you need a lot more people there. But I'm going to be back a lot.
No. We want you down there, Griz.
Well, I'd catch all your redfish,
Yeah.
But so maybe just a real quick kind of summary of the event and kind of what we're trying to do. So the biggest thing, let's start with, is the conservation and advocacy point. And that is, we've right now we've got Charleston, we've got another one in Boston in September. We'll stick with those two until we figure this out. But we want to make sure that we're identifying local grassroots nonprofits. There are so many great small orgs that do really some of the most important work, but are challenged on budget and those constraints. And if you're able to give, let's say $25K plus to an org that has a $1 million budget, boy, that's going to go a long way, right? And I love the big orgs, but the little orgs need help as well.
Yeah.
And so Charleston Waterkeeper, not to say they're a little org, they're doing great stuff, but we identified them as our main beneficiary nonprofit. And so Friday night on May 15th, we've got at the Free House Brewery, a kind of industry night meets fundraiser. So we've got a lot of donors coming from Waterkeeper, potential donors, and then we've got our industry folks that are there for the weekend or that live there and just have a good time. It is not a sit down gala. It is, let's celebrate the culture that we have in angling, and then let's try to do better and raise some funds for the Waterkeeper. So that's Friday, and then Saturday is the main event. So that's 2:00 until 10:30 p.m. I'm not going to go into super detail because I don't want to bore anybody, but maybe check out the website. Click like, subscribe, whatever you do these days.
Smash that like.
Yeah, smash it. But it's supposed to be different. It is a music, and I hate the word festival, music gathering with a heavy fly fishing hand, and it's on land. So we got to get creative on some things here. It's not just booths and a ton of vendors. It's the selected brands that we believe in, that we think are doing good stuff. And the last part is the music, the fly fishing, the food and drink, obviously. I mean, that speaks for itself, but the art. I think art is such an amazing component of our sport. We have incredible artists. I think just anytime you're out on the water, you're like, man, I wish I could actually paint, or, you can snap a photo now, but it's just incredible. And so we want to highlight that. That's almost like fly fishing is there. Art is right beneath it. Music's there. Food and drinks down here. It's going to be terrible food and drink. I'd bring a picnic, I guess, is what I'm saying.
You won't like any of the food.
Yeah, you won't like any of it. But I just think that is so important to highlight the art, because we just have some great artists, local and national, that are coming. And the bottom line is, let's have a good time, right? The relationships that come out of some of the other events come after you leave the conservation center, the conference center. And that's what we want to try to curate is really, it's the the older gentleman who owns a company and the younger kid who's just becoming into guiding, and they become best buds, and there you go.
Yeah, well, I love that, and I know that there's some folks out there that people will recognize. I know Paul Puckett's heavily involved, and
Never heard of him.
yeah, in the project. Cam Schuler, young up and coming guy, buddy of mine's involved in the project, and
Cam's a legend.
yeah, great guy. And then everyone in between. I mean, you've got Blaine and great music acts, both local and national. Like, it's really cool that y'all have curated this, and I agree. Right, you need everyone is kind of, I also feel like, getting digitally fatigued, and like they need that. People are craving that connection, right? To like go and hang out with like-minded people, and if you can do that and have a couple of beers and eat some great local seafood and listen to some great music, you're creating an environment where you're going to build relationships and have a lot of fun in the process, which I love.
Yeah, agreed. Fully agreed.
So one of the things I know that we have worked together on for this event, that, we don't have to spend a ton of time on this, but I think it is helpful for participants to understand that, like, Soul Fly Co is taking this seriously. And so we work together to put together a sustainability plan. So part of my process when I work with a client is I'm always trying to figure out what is the best practice and then build on that. And I have to say, sustainability in kind of music and events is in its infancy. I'll just say that.
Challenging.
Yeah. But I found some cool resources, and like there's this Music Sustainability Alliance, and they're kind of on the cutting edge of what you can do with a concert type event on the sustainability front. So I'm excited that we're going to be able to put some metrics behind the good that this event is doing for the Charleston community in terms of money donated to Charleston Waterkeeper. We're gonna try, and again, this is all we're attempting to do these things, right? But see if we can go zero waste, which for folks out there that's if you divert 90% of your waste from the landfill through composting or recycling, that is technically zero waste. Can we do that? I don't know yet. But we need to strive for it, right? And strive to do the best that we can. So I know that there's, for folks who maybe want to take a deeper dive into that, go visit the Soul Fly Co website, which is soulflyco.com. And you can take a look at that. But I didn't know if you had anything in particular that you wanted to talk about on that front. But I commend y'all for putting together a plan that we can then report back to attendees to say, you were a part of this. You helped us get to where we were on the sustainability goal front.
Yeah, Rick. And I think when you put on an event or a business, whatever it is, and especially the startup level, you've got so many other things you're just trying to put the flipping pieces together, right? But as I said earlier, I mean, everything we do is community and protect the resource. And so this is not just like, oh, well, I'm not going to say the word, but we're going to do this. We got to do it right. And I think what I've maybe learned or felt before, not at really any particular event, but just in my, you don't need to know how old I am, but in my couple years in professional life, it's like, I don't think people do a great job when they are hit over the head and said, hey, you need to do better. You need to save the world. Right. And sometimes in the conservation and advocacy and that world, sometimes it feels like that because you're so in it. And it's just like, boy, that's a great way to scare a lot of people away and just like get people to say, nope, not doing that. Right. Yeah. So I think, and Rick, you've been so helpful in this. Shout out to Emerger Strategies. Call us anytime. But you can only do what you can do in the beginning, but you might as well, if you can only do what you can do, you better do it right and do it, focused and intentional. And, I won't go into the details. I think the sustainability report, and if you do choose to come to the event, you'll hopefully see it. But you almost want to do it in a way where, yes, there's some literature, there's some visuals, there are some folks that you can talk to, but it's not like intrusive, right? And it just feels natural. And that's kind of what we're going for, is to be as natural as we can. And, the other part is, like you mentioned, the transparency part. We are not perfect whatsoever. We are going to F up. We are going to make mistakes. We are going to show it, though. We're going to say, hey, here's what we tried to do. Here's what we did. Here's what we want to do, right, for the next one. And, I think accountability is a huge part in brand confidence and believing in something and wanting to go to an event or wanting to go to whatever. It's like, well, I mean, at least, they're honest and they're trying. And I think there's so much value in that, because I hope at least one attendee comes, has no clue about fly fishing, sees what happens, gets a follow-up, and then that inspires or at least pushes them to say, okay, well, you know what? All right, I can do this in this part of my life. And it's not a huge lift, right? So I think that is what really intrigues me. And we'll see what happens.
Well, I think too that I'm excited to see where it happens and the lessons learned from this first one that we can build on, right? And take that to the Boston event and take it for years to come, right? And you build on it. But I think something I 100% agree, right? You get beat over the head and then you're almost like made to feel guilty because you're not perfect. And, and it's like, that's not the point. The point is that, to be completely honest, sustainability for businesses, it makes it harder for them. It makes everything harder because you're having to do all of this. But I also believe that most things that are worthwhile are difficult. And so I think that it will be cool to see what the results of this, and I also like to think of it as an experiment, right? Like this is like, who knows? Like who knows what's going to come out of this?
Right. And the great point, Rick. And I think too, the one word I forgot maybe to mention is like, it's a celebration. And I feel like in the conservation world, we only have, sadly at the moment, only some small things to celebrate. And maybe we don't do that as well as we should. We're always focused on, okay, we got to fight. We got to keep fighting. And we have to. But like, we also need to take the time to celebrate and realize, hey, we're doing the best we can. If you don't take that moment to really enjoy, even if you're not involved in any of the advocacy or policy stuff, it's like, you got to celebrate that, because if there's no joy in anything you're doing, then I mean, you're not going to be a very happy person. But yeah, so it's a celebration. It's an imperfect celebration. That's our new tagline. We are an imperfect celebration.
We're going to celebrate our imperfections and do the best that we can. What's wrong with that? I love that. I love that, actually. It's right. No, hey, nobody trademarked that, or I'm going to write.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
We set out with a New Earth project to really start a movement.
It's a global coalition of people who are deeply concerned and want to accelerate the transition away from problematic packaging to more sustainable solutions.
Our entire value proposition was built on helping companies package things better. We were doing sustainability before sustainability was cool. We just called it packaging optimization. And packaging optimization really is about using less. And we built our whole business on that. People send us their products, their goods, and we help them design packaging systems and solutions for the least possible cost, utilizing the least amount of material. Use less is always the right answer.
And that's what I see with companies like a New Earth Project, is it's like, we're just trying to create solutions for big companies and small, that makes it easier for them, cheaper for them, whatever it is, and then has less impact. Not just trying to tell people you should have less impact and making the choice forced on them. Like, make it better for everybody, and it'll make it better for the whole world.
We see the problem, and we are with you.
And we're back.
Oh, man. All right. Well, there you go. Wi-Fi is down here in Charlestown, Massachusetts. We have figured it out. I was laughing so hard because you were frozen. And I was like, if anybody's still listening, let's talk about this.
All right, so we're going to trademark that tagline,
Yes.
So everyone be on the lookout for that. But some other things that you should be on the lookout for. I have been enjoying the social media posts that y'all have been putting out. And when's the next one coming out? I'm a little intrigued by this.
Well, first of all, my mom, she's 81 years old. I love her to death. She's always clapped, always emoji clapped at everything I post, no matter what it is. And she's like, I keep getting these notifications. And then she's like, she called me the other day. She was like, so I'm seeing some different type of stuff coming out. Like, how's everything going? Kind of like almost worried. But I don't know. I guess now this is a real teaser, so you're gonna have to go check out our social. But to the point earlier, it's like we want to do things differently, and that doesn't mean changing the whole structure of the thing. But if it's just a flyer and it's just me or some that you should come, I don't know. That's not really inspiring to me if I see that on social. So I've now found myself in sort of a Ron Burgundy situation. But I will say one thing. I mean, it's a lot of work, by the way, whoever does social media. I always thought it was like, wow, people have jobs and do this. This is crazy. But boy, that stuff takes a lot of work to get together. But I've had people reach out, which is not that I need a pat on the back, but that it's more like you maybe be on the right track, or like this is okay. We like this. But yeah, a lot of people reach out I haven't talked to in a while. They're like, this is hysterical. Like, I might come to this, even though I don't know about fly fishing. And that's, I don't know, again, like with the conservation side, you need to hit people these days, and not violently, but like get them intrigued by, the only way you're going to do that is something unique or different or a bit outside the box. And maybe on our point, it's a bit silly and at points weird, but it's an interesting endeavor when I'm working on like spreadsheets and somebody calls like, oh, are you ready to like do this fake newscast about like, nothing? And I'm like, okay, yeah, actually I am. So it's fun.
Well, that I've really enjoyed it, and it's also something that is, to your point, needed. Right? We need to be able to laugh and have fun while we're all trying to do what we can. So
I think Rick, there's something coming out with you maybe and another gentleman soon. So just another teaser.
I would just say, what am I willing to say? Well, it involves, I guess I should talk about this. We're going to incentivize attendees to the Soul Fly Charleston event to take public transportation. So I'm just going to leave that one right there and just think about it. Like, so I will say this, if you're coming to the event, and I hope you are, think about carpooling, right? Think about taking CARTA, which is the Charleston area public transport. So think about ways that bikes, you could bike, get a little exercise, and have some fun with it. Get a crew and get together and take the CARTA and have a party. And so I think that I'm going to leave that there, but stay tuned for some interesting content that involves transportation. Well, what are some more details about the event that we can share? Where can people buy tickets? Where can they get more information? I mean, whatever else you want to share about the event.
For sure, yeah. I think what I've learned too is putting on a real first year event. People are like, I don't get it. right? And that's totally fine. Like, you have to sort of show it the best way you can, and sometimes you can't really, because if it's something that really hasn't been done. This event is not. It's not a music festival. It's not a fly fishing show. It's not a food extravaganza. There's plenty of food and drink, but it is, and it's not an art show, right? It's a combination of all those, that if you're interested in any of that, I think you will enjoy the day, or the evening, whenever you decide to show up, or if you do. So you can find as much information as you can on the soulflyco.com website. Also, the Refinery is where the event is at, May 16th.
Awesome.
They have the venue. Yeah. The tickets, if you just decide to buy a ticket, which, by the way, we did our best to keep it, at the lowest price we could, without losing our hat and shirt. I do love when people are like, you should have this event for free. And I'm like, you work for free? Is anything free? But those people are nice people. So the Refinery, great venue. They're awesome. Shout out to Ear to Music and the whole team at the Refinery. So there's information there. Obviously, social media, you can follow us there, Soul Fly Co. And I would say, come or don't. That's up to you. I can't really influence that. But if you do come, please reach out afterwards and say, you need to do this. Maybe don't get super negative, like, but be like, maybe next year think about this, or have you thought about this? We are imperfect celebrators, right? And I think the biggest thing that we want to do in every place that we go, be it Charleston or Boston, is, it's a community driven event. I am not from Charleston. We are just a vessel to get the community together to make this an impactful event, not only conservation wise, but human wise. And we don't know all the answers whatsoever. I don't know any of the answers. We're trying to figure it out. So I invite you to figure it out with us, and we would love to see you there, obviously.
Yeah, and just for some folks who, because the music lineup is very legit.
Not free, by the way. Whoever asked.
Yes, this costs money to put on, and also because y'all are donating a portion of the proceeds to Charleston Waterkeeper, you can feel good about that purchase, right? Because you're actually going to be helping to protect and restore the waterways here in Charleston through the work that Charleston Waterkeeper does, which I think is really
an amazing raffle, by the way. I do have to say, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's there's one raffle, but 3 choices. You're going to want to show up for that one. That's going to be a good one.
Nice. So who are the bands? Just run us through that, just for folks who are looking for the music aspect.
Well, if you come before the event starts, I'll be playing the banjo in the parking lot. I think I've got about 2 folks coming. It's going to be a pretty good one. I don't know.
I'll bring a bongo.
Perfect. I think that's a band. I think we've started a band now. So we are starting out with the legendary local band called Bandito, which our good friend Paul Puckett, Jake Skelton, the other boys. They are. Honestly, it's not just like, hey, we're friends, come play this show. They are really good. They actually, I believe they just came out with like an album or whatever you call it these days. So shout out to Bandito and the crew there. Leon Mason, an incredible, I'd say up and coming, but probably kind of there at the moment. Singer-songwriter, country vibe, but just a really good artist. And the best part is he's a fly fisherman. He started music based on where he was fly fishing, and then would go play music. And we were just like, yeah, we need him. And ideally at some point I would love for like the whole lineup of this to be musicians who are anglers. Right. But that would be cool. Again, one step at a time. And after Leon, we've got Mountain Grass Unit, probably one of the hottest bluegrass groups out there. Younger guys they all went to Berkeley College up here in Massachusetts. So probably the best music school out there, as far as I know. But they are going to be awesome. They are going to open for the Stews. So the Stews are what's the next level of up and coming? I guess you've made it. The Stews pretty much have made it, and man, they've got great music, a great vibe. And I think they're gonna crush it and end the night with a real bang. So, be ready for an incredible experience from 2:00 to 7, and then incredible food and fly fishing experience, and then 7 onward. Get ready to get your groove on and have a great time.
I love that, and there's going to be local food vendors, Martin's Barbecue.
Yep, we got Martin's Barbecue, Rebel Tacos, Sundays, 167 Raw.
Nice.
We may even have a guy on stage throwing hot dogs to people. I don't know. You'll have to find out. Drink. We've got Oxbow Brewing from up here in the north coming down. Great beer there. We've got everything that the refinery sells for all of their shows, kind of the normal menu there. We'll have a drink that is sort of like a Soul Fly or redfish, drink or whatever it is. I haven't come up with the name there yet, but that's fantastic. And the art. I mean, we've got 4 highlighted artists: Paul Puckett, David Danforth, Alexandra McNeil, and Ashley Weber. So they will be doing all of their different types of medium immersively and live, so you'll be able to interact with them. There's maybe a collaborative piece that they're working on that will go into the raffle as well. And we've got some great photographers as well. Justin Hodge, I believe Paul King, also known as Dirt Lord, greatest Instagram name ever. And Dylan Schmitz. Yeah, it's a celebration, right? It's a celebration of everything that we love, and I think a lot of people love. That is art, food, music, and fly fishing and conservation. And this is a word that gets me to activations. So there definitely will be certain things that we roll out here in the next month that you'll say, oh wow, I actually just want to go see that. I do have to mention there's no just a fly fishing ticket and then the music ticket. It's a one ticket from 2 to 10:30. But if you just want to come for one thing, call Rick and he'll figure it out. But as far as the panels, I love those like the legend panels and all those things that we always see. They're amazing. What we're doing is flipping that a little bit on its head. I think a lot of the folks that we've gotten involved in this are quote unquote influencers in our little world and folks that you may recognize on social media. So we want them to they're going to be volunteers. They're going to be walking around with some sort of silly garb on and inviting people to come check out these fly fishing carnival type games. So each title sponsor, and I won't go through it. I love all of our sponsors. Shout out to Marshware, our presenting sponsor. I got $5 for just saying that, by the way. It's, every time I say it, I get it. And it just goes to me personally. We wanted this to not be consumer driven. We wanted to be experience driven. So let's take an example. An activation would be, you've got 2 people, come into this little zone. And it's a person up front has a blindfold on and a kid's fishing rod with a little bit of weighted Velcro on the end. And then we've got sort of this thing out in front that's like a bit of a Roomba thing that moves back and forth. And then the person behind you is on an elevated little step, and they are guiding you into catching this said Roomba. So it's a thing that you and I, Rick, could do as anglers, but it's somebody who can walk off the street and do it as well. And it breaks down the barrier, I think, a little bit to our sport, that it's not, not this big thing that seems very expensive and elitist. It's a way to interact with nature that is that we obviously love. So there'll be a lot of those type of silly competition carnival games going on. And if you don't want to do them, that's fine. You can just hang out and drink whatever you want to drink and hang out for the music. But just remember, there's going to be some folks roaming around that you may recognize from the fishing world that'll encourage you to come try these, and you do get an extra raffle ticket for the raffle for engaging or completing them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, yes, that is what fly fishing needs, right? Is let's lead with fun and see where that takes us for a change.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, why not, right?
Yeah.
It's not what we're doing isn't that serious as far as if you look at a big picture. It's a stick with some string and something we made up, and we're trying to get a creature to eat it. Let's have fun with it, and let's see how that spreads. So.
I love it. Well, Griz, I am so thrilled to be part of this experiment and this adventure with y'all. And this is going to be a lot of fun. May 16th at the refinery, but also Friday at Freehouse. Just mark May 15th and 16th on your calendar. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, we can't wait. And if you can't make it this year, I know May. We've all got busy schedules. This isn't a one and done, unless the experiment goes terribly wrong. But it won't. We have the passion and the focus and the work that went into it. And we hope to see you this year, May 15th, 16th, but the 16th being at the refinery. And again, let us know how we did. Maybe in a positive, not that we did everything positive, but don't be super angry when you reach out.
That kills the vibe.
It kills the vibe. Just, I don't know. But yeah, Rick, thank you for having us, and thank you for everything you're doing on the stuff that we really care about and are trying to do it right, and we'll be honest about it.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to head over to emergerstrategies.com for all your sustainability consulting needs, and check out our new The Compliance Ready Brand Blueprint, which is designed to get your sustainability house in order in 30 days or less.